on LAN this year, just playing out of his mind, basically.
Well, that speaks to the breadth of the skill on SK Gaming, right? That everybody on this team is capable of doing damage, of taking over games. It's nuts to watch when they really get rolling. Heroic, I do think, rely a bit more on Velda. They rely a bit more on him hitting his shots and inflicting damage. You're not really going to be looking to Snappy to take over a game and carry, or Freeze to take over a game and carry, right? It does seem like it's falling a lot more on Nikolai, on Madi, and on Velda to get work done here for Heroic. And that could be what's making the difference versus SK Gaming right now. SK Gaming, it's very difficult to find that weak link on their team.
13-15 is the score that we're looking for. Another round here for Heroic, and they definitely will have pulled a huge upset here in the group. That would be very exciting if it happens. They are setting up for a bit of a push over alone. Not going to find anyone at the first corner, but a little bit further back. Fur in an interesting position, and Fallen is there to flash him in if anything happens. Good to see the first flash coming out. Fallen, is he going to set up for it? He's moving into position for it, but already the Molotov out. Fur, he's burning right now, and it just wasn't quick enough. Fallen wanted to do it. He did put the flashbang in, but Fur just couldn't make it out.
Fur just, it's like deep mind games upon mind games. He was trying to hesitate, see if he could take someone with him, it looked like. Just doesn't happen at all. That forces the rotation over now of FNX towards the A site. Now 2 players, but this is big. We see the push coming in from Taco on Plateau. They realize now, or they should realize now, that SK Gaming, that there isn't anybody coming through. As soon as Cold Zero Peaks drop, that's it. But the push begins at the same time. FNX and Fallen finding 2 kills, but then Velda brings it back, takes out FNX, and we're into a 3-on-3 take on the A site here for Heroic.
Man, that's a big kill for Fallen. If he doesn't get that, then they almost certainly lose it. And what a shot coming out. Velda, best thing falling. He had the angle and the sniper, and it wasn't enough now. Taco and Cold Sierra, 2-on-3 here. They need this round. They desperately need it. Taco going to go for a bit of a spray, but Nikolai going to win that fight. And this is it, ladies and gentlemen. 1-on-3 here. Cold Sierra trying to keep SK Gaming alive against Heroic. It sounds ridiculous. It is a little bit ridiculous, but it's really happening. Freeze and Velda left. They've got him sandwiched in. Cold making a lot of noise, trying to make the jump happen here. Velda on the other side. He's going to be going down now. It's all on Freeze, and the defuse already happening. Cold going to try and stick it. Freeze showing himself. This is such a good angle for the Danish player. Cold, he can't do a single thing here, and that's going to be it. 16-13, favoring Heroic as they take out SK in their first game of IEM Oakland here. What an incredible upset.
What excellent work. I'm glad that we're going to get some replays here because, I mean, this was a strong start between FNX and Fallen. It's just Fallen was not able to follow through, and Velda, I mean, that's the key shot, I think. If Fallen gets that shot onto Velda, then they never get up onto the site. Fallen is there with the AWP watching from balcony. He's got that long line that cuts the site in half, right? But Velda just pre-fires him into oblivion, and then that opens everything up. But again, Velda, this guy is nuts. We have to keep an eye on him.
Yeah, absolutely shocking. And I mean, we did sort of point it out. He's a big up-and-coming talent. I had no expectations of Nikolai. He played extremely well. The defense was so rock solid. So just overall, a lot of excitement. We'll see if they could do very well. But first of all, I'm looking forward to getting a little bit of a breakdown. So please, Alex, take us through this.
Thanks very much, gentlemen. It will be a little bit of a breakdown, given that we have got to keep the schedule rolling and players are chomping at the bit to get back into their first game of CS. But still, Dace is joining me and we can understand a little bit about what just happened, because SK4, we painted Heroic as the underdog not only of the group but of the tournament.
No, and that scoreline could have been much different. Heroic had opportunities earlier on in the half to eco them twice, lost both rounds. We were thinking in our heads, okay, SK is really going to start putting something together.
This is one of them.
Oh yeah, after this round as well, we thought, you know, maybe SK was going to make more of a run. We were a little bit worried for Heroic, but even though SK did make a bit of a run, Heroic came back strong later in that half. The story of their CT side, though, Nico and Valde at B played it amazingly well. They double rifled upper B. They had great use of utility. Every smoke, every flash, every Molotov that they threw had meaning and purpose throughout their setup. And it always disjointed the SK attacks whenever they did try to hit B. And then they made great reads throughout that entire game. One time at B, they said, okay, I don't think they're going to go upper. They did a 3-man drop play where they were all close to drop. SK went drop. They stomped on that. On T side, when they were going A consistently, they started to slow it down. Fur made a big mistake in order to give Heroic more momentum. He started pushing. They waited, got those kills. Round fell from there.
And something else we highlighted as well was how good Fallen's AWPing could have been in that pre-match. We actually saw a great influential round here on round 21. It was what gave SK the lead, if not just for a short period of time. A 4K holding on to this A site. This was when perhaps Heroic did hit a bit of a wall, and that wall just being that AWP.
Yeah, you know, Fallen, one of his strengths are in any area like this, back of the A site, like we talked about, just where he could have freedom of movement, staying alive for so long, making it easier on his teammates, and of course, just hitting 6 shots, getting that 4K. He really warmed up at the end of that game. He started out struggling a lot. We saw a lot of moments that SK didn't really seem like they were on the same page. There was one round that Valde snuck all the way through the connector. That almost never happens when you watch SK, where the communication just isn't there. Got behind both Fallen and Fur, got all the way through the connector, went through Heaven, went through the A site. They still didn't know he was there. Right. Ended up shooting 2 guys in the back in order to win a round. Not something you typically see from this SK lineup.
So, like, we're talking miscommunication here, just kind of getting under their skin.
You know, that round was. Yeah. But throughout the game, I don't want to take anything away from Heroic. I think Heroic played extremely well, especially Valde, especially.
Round 27, as well as an example of when they bit back. It was actually Nikolai. It was, 25. We did get to see, of course, New Blood chip off the old block for Heroic, going and answering back with 4 kills of his own as they did swarm upon that B site. And it was very good to see Heroic having form like this versus an opponent like this.
Oh yeah, and this is a 3v5. Again, Heroic was put in a spot where they probably should have lost the round, you know, right when it's 3v5. But they make big plays as individuals in order to save the round, but they aren't in positionally acceptable places where they can make those plays.
And the question, was asked is, what can Heroic possibly do when they lose what was seen as, a shining light within their roster? You lose Glaive, you expect to see some issues occur. However, they already picked up one very solid result to start off their stint here at IEM Oakland. So have FaZe. Alongside this one, it was FaZe versus Cloud9 and an overtime victory in favor of FaZe. That game was close right down to the wire. I know you had it open watching that one a little bit as well.
Oh yeah, Kerrigan brought out that auto sniper. We were on the back room. We were saying this needs to be utilized more. He definitely made some big plays with that. But Valde, man, like I think he only had 1 first death that entire match. Yeah. And I honestly think it was right before that pause. And I think the only reason is that he died was because I think his mouse got unplugged. I'm not sure, but
you just saw him stand freeze?
Yes, when he was in drop room. I think he caught it on camera. But that was his only first death throughout there, and he got multiple entry frags.
Well, there you go. That's a perfect way, a nice summary there from Sam as to exactly how influential Valde was, and that swing shot into Fallen on the cross. Not sure what was going on there. Sensational work from Heroic, though, as they do manage to make a huge impact. 2 teams that Sam has in his top 3 are going 0-1. Both Cloud9 and SK have conceded their first loss of the day. Up next, it'll be Mouse NIP coming up after our break. You do not want to miss this.